Shukrana Guru Maharaj for this beautiful divine satsang. Last week we read chapter 14, 15 and 16 of Rudra Samhita part 3. In this we read that Narad requested Brahma to narrate the story of the demon Tarka with reference to Shiva. Now, Brahma told Narada that his grandson Kashyap got married to 13 daughters of Daksha, and his eldest daughter Diti had two sons, Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyayaksha. Now these two harassed the gods, and Vishnu had to take an avatar of Narasimha to kill these two. Once the sons were killed, Diti was of course distressed, and she sought refuge in her husband, that was Kashyap, and again she conceived. When she conceived, Indra got to know that she had conceived, so he forcibly entered the womb of Diti, and he tried to cut the womb and by his thunderbolts. He cut it into many pieces, but he could not kill the child. So there were 7, because it was cut into pieces, there were 7 sons born of Diti that time, and those were called Maruts, and they were all the attendants of the god, and Indra took them to heaven. Now, of course, Diti was again distressed, and she again sought refuge in her husband. So this time her husband Kashyap told her that you have to perform penance for 10,000 years now, and only then you will be blessed with a son, and you have to please Brahma. So she performed the penance for 10,000 years to please Brahma, and finally at the end of the penance she conceived again, and this time a very strong, powerful son was born of her, and his name was Vajranga, and it meant strong, so rightful name, and he had adamantine bones. And then what he did was he grew up fast, and then on bidding of his mother, he actually he abducted all the gods, and then he punished them in various ways. So Brahma got to know about it, and Brahma went with Kashyap to Vajranga and requested him to release the gods. So the gods were released, and Vajranga then told Brahma that he did it at the bidding of his mother. He had no interest in the world. So Brahma was delighted, and he gave an exquisite lady to Vajranga. So her name was Varangi. Now Varangi became his wife, and she served him with love and devotion. And then when he was pleased, he asked Varangi what she wanted, what she wished for. So Varangi said that she wanted a very powerful son, one who could conquer all the 3 worlds and could also cause misery and distress to Vishnu. So hearing all this, Vajranga was not very happy, but he was in a dilemma because he had already promised that he's going to give her the wish. So what he did was he performed penance for several years trying to please Brahma, and then when Brahma was pleased and he wanted to grant him a boon, he asked Brahma to bless him with a son that was beneficial to his mother, and who was strong, who had valor, and who also was a storehouse of penance. That means he could perform a lot of penance. So Brahma granted the boon, and soon enough Varangi had conceived, and she gave birth to a demon called Tarka. When he was being born, many evil phenomenon occurred all through the 3 worlds that caused a lot of distress, lot of misery, and people could not understand what is happening because he was being born. This was a huge boy which had a dazzling light that reached up to 10 quarters. So when he was born, everything changed. He grew up fast, and then he decided that he's gonna perform penance, and he performed extremely severe penance to conquer all the gods. And when the gods got to know about it, Indra and other gods, they reached out to Brahma for help. Brahma, of course, went to Tarka and asked him, because he had to grant a boon after such a severe penance, so he asked him about the boon, and Tarka asked for 2 boons. Firstly, he said that he wanted to be the strongest man in the universe that was created by Brahma. And secondly, he said that he could only die when Shiva's son would kill him. So these were the 2 things he asked Brahma, and Brahma had to grant those wishes to him. Then Brahma went back to his abode, and because of that, after he got his boons, he went to a place called Sonita, and there he was crowned the king of the three worlds, and then started the atrocities. He started harassing the gods. He drove them out of heaven. He took everything the gods had. He took their women, he took their powers, he forced them to be subservient to them, and gods had a real hard time with him. So they pleaded with, gods went up to Brahma and pleaded and told them the plight, that what they were suffering. So Brahma told them that because he had granted the boons to Tarka, he cannot help because he has already granted the boons, but it's only Shiva who can help them, and Shiva's son is the only way we can get to kill Tarka. So he told the gods to devise a plan so that they can unite Shiva and Parvati. And meanwhile, he went up to Tarka, who was in heaven, and he told Tarka that he has to leave heaven and rule the earth. So Tarka obeyed Brahma and went to earth, and there he ruled from the place called Sonita, the entire kingdom, and he continued with his atrocities. But gods were happy. They went back to heaven, and they all requested Indra to come up with a plan so that they can unite Shiva and Parvati. Now today we will read further how the plan went about. We're going to read chapter 17, which is the dialogue between Indra and Kamadeva. Sunita auntie will be reading in English, and Divya auntie will be reading in Hindi. Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji. Always grateful to Guru Sahib for granting me this seva, and apologies in advance for any errors and omissions. Chapter 17, the dialogue between Indra and Kamadeva. Brahma said, when the gods had gone, Indra remembered Kama. He was so afflicted by Taraka, the wicked demon. In an instant, Kama, the lover of Rati, came there along with Vasanta. He was accompanied by Rati too. Being powerful enough to conquer the three worlds, he was very haughty. Making due obeisance, standing in front of Indra, the lofty-minded Kama joined his palms in reverence and said, Kama said, what is the matter that has cropped up now? Wherefore was I remembered? Please tell me, I am here to carry it out. Brahma said, on hearing the words of Kama, Indra, the lord of gods, said, praising him lovingly, saying, well done, very proper. Indra said, O Kama, you are blessed indeed, since you are in readiness to carry out the affair I have on hand. You have begun well. Listen to what is relevant to the context. I shall tell you everything. My job is equally your job and not otherwise. I have many friends and great friends at that. But, O Kama, I have no other friend on a par with you anywhere. O dear, for my conquest, the unparalleled thunderbolt has been made. Even that weapon may sometimes be ineffective, but you are never so. Who can be dearer than the person from whom one desires benefit? Hence you, my greatest friend, must carry out my task. Time being accursed, a great irremediable misery has befallen me. None other than you can dispel it. The test of a donor is at the time of famine. The test of a warrior is at the time of battle. The test of a friend is at the time of adversity, and the test of a woman is in the financial weakness of the family. Oh dear, the test of a real friend is in the time of distress and is also based on what he does behind the back. It is not otherwise. This is truth. Now that an adversity has befallen me, which cannot be thwarted by anyone else, oh dear friend, it shall be a test for you today. This is not a matter that brings pleasure to me alone. This is a matter that concerns all gods and others too. Brahma said, on hearing these words of Indra, the fish-bannered god Kama spoke smilingly in words indicating love and gravity. Kama said, why do you say like this? I make no answer to you. A helping, unreal friend is neither seen nor spoken of in the world. He who speaks much at the time of adversity will not turn out much. Yet, O king, my lord, I shall say something. Please listen. O dear friend, I shall cause the downfall of that enemy of yours who is performing a severe penance to usurp your position. I shall topple gods, sages, demons, and others through the side glances of a beautiful woman. I do not at all take human beings into consideration. Let your thunderbolt and other weapons of innumerable varieties be set aside. What will they do when I, your friend, am present? I can undoubtedly make Brahma and Vishnu go astray. Others are of no consideration. I shall make even Shiva fall. I have only 5 arrows that are soft and flowery. My bow is of 3 types. That too is flowery. The bowstring consists of bees. My support and strength is my beloved wife Rati. Spring is my minister. O God, I am having 5 forces. The moon, the storehouse of nectar, is my friend. The sentiment of love is my commander-in-chief. The coquettish gestures and emotions are my soldiers. All these are soft and gentle. O Indra, I too am of that sort. An intelligent man shall put together things that are mutually complementary. You shall therefore engage me in a task that accords with my capacity. Brahma said. On hearing his words, Indra was much pleased. Pleasing Kama, the bestower of cherished happiness, by means of his words he spoke. Indra said, O dear Kama, you are competent to carry out the task which I have conceived in my mind. It cannot be realized through anyone else. O Kama, foremost among my friends, listen. I shall explain truly for what I remembered you and desired your presence, O Kama. Securing a wonderful boon from Brahma, the great demon Taraka has become invincible and a pest for everyone. The entire world is harassed by him. Many virtuous rites are destroyed. The gods have become miserable, and so also the sages. He had been fought by the gods to the utmost of their ability formerly, but the weapons of all gods became quite futile. The noose of Varuna, the god of waters, snapped. When hurled at his neck by Vishnu, the discus Sudarshan was blunted. The death of this wicked demon had been foretold by Brahma, the lord of people, at the hands of the boy born of Shiva, the great yogin. O dear friend, this task must be achieved by you diligently. Then we, the gods, can be very happy. It will be beneficent to me. It will render the whole world happy. Realizing the duties of a friend, you are now to act. Shiva is at present engaged in great penance. The Supreme Lord is always independent. It is not to achieve any desire that he performs the penance. For the sake of gods, at the bidding of her father, Parvati is attending on him, I hear. O Kama, you shall certainly do everything necessary to bring about an interest in her mind of Shiva who has self-control. You will become contented after this. Your miseries will be destroyed. Your exploit will be permanently established in the world, not otherwise. Brahma said. On being thus addressed, Kama was glad, his face beaming like a full-blown lotus. He lovingly said to the Lord of Gods, I shall undoubtedly do it. After saying this, when he said, so be it, he said yes. Kama accepted it because he was deluded by Shiva's illusion. Accompanied by his wife and Spring, he went to the place where Shiva, the yogin, was performing penance. That ends the reading in English. Divya Aunty will be reading in Hindi. Jai Guruji.
जय गुरु जी, शुक्राना गुरु जी फॉर द सेवा। अध्याय 17, इंद्र द्वारा काम का स्मरण, उसके साथ उनकी बातचीत तथा उनके कहने से काम का शिव को मोहने के लिए प्रस्थान। ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं, नारद, देवताओं के चले जाने पर दुरात्मा तारक दैत्य से पीड़ित हुए इंद्र ने कामदेव का स्मरण किया। कामदेव तत्काल वहां आ पहुंचा। तब इंद्र ने मित्रता का धर्म बतलाते हुए काम से कहा, मित्र, कालवशात मुझ पर असाध्य दुख आ पड़ा है। उसे तुम्हारे बिना कोई भी दूर नहीं कर सकता। दाता की परीक्षा दुर्भिक्षम में, शूरवीर की परीक्षा रणभूमि में, मित्र की परीक्षा आपत्ति काल में तथा स्त्रियों के कुल की परीक्षा पति के असमर्थ हो जाने पर होती है। तात, संकट पड़ने पर विनय की परीक्षा होती है और परोक्षम में सत्य एवं उत्तम स्नेह की, अन्यथा नहीं। यह मैंने सच्ची बात कही है। मित्रवर, इस समय मुझ पर जो विपत्ति आई है उसका निवारण दूसरे किसी से नहीं हो सकता। अतः आज तुम्हारी परीक्षा हो जाएगी। यह कार्य केवल मेरा ही है और मुझे ही सुख देने वाला है, ऐसी बात नहीं, अपितु यह समस्त देवता आदि का कार्य है, इसमें संशय नहीं है। इंद्र की यह बात सुनकर कामदेव मुस्कुराया और प्रेम पूर्ण गंभीर वाणी में बोला। काम ने कहा, देवराज, आप ऐसी बात क्यों कहते हैं? मैं आपको उत्तर नहीं दे रहा हूँ, आवश्यक निवेदन मात्र कर रहा हूँ। लोक में कौन उपकारी मित्र है और कौन बनावटी, यह स्वयं देखने की वस्तु है, कहने की नहीं। जो संकट के समय बहुत बातें करता है वह काम क्या करेगा? तथापि महाराज, प्रभु, मैं कुछ कहता हूँ, उसे सुनिए। मित्र, जो आपके इंद्र पद को छीनने के लिए दारुण तपस्या कर रहा है, आपके उस शत्रु को मैं सर्वथा तपस्या से भ्रष्ट कर दूंगा। जो काम जिससे पूरा हो सके, बुद्धिमान पुरुष उसे उसी समय काम में लगाए। मेरे योग्य जो कार्य हो वह सब आप मेरे जिम्मे कीजिए। ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं, कामदेव का यह कथन सुनकर इंद्र बड़े प्रसन्न हुए। वे कामनियों को सुख देने वाले काम को प्रणाम करके उससे इस प्रकार बोले। इंद्र ने कहा, तात, मनोभव, मैं अपने मन में जिस कार्य को पूर्ण करने का उद्देश्य रखा है उसे सिद्ध करने में केवल तुम ही समर्थ हो, दूसरे किसी से उस कार्य का होना संभव नहीं है। मित्रवर, मनोभव, काम, जिसके लिए आज तुम्हारे सहयोगी की अपेक्षा हुई है उसे ठीक ठीक बता रहा हूँ, सुनो। तारक नाम से प्रसिद्ध जो महान दैत्य है वह ब्रह्मा जी का अद्भुत वर पाकर अजय हो गया है और सभी को दुख दे रहा है। वह सारे संसार को पीड़ा दे रहा है। उसके द्वारा बारंबार धर्म का नाश हुआ है। उससे सब देवता और समस्त ऋषि दुखी हुए हैं। संपूर्ण देवताओं ने पहले उसके साथ अपनी पूरी शक्ति लगाकर युद्ध किया था, परंतु उसके ऊपर सबके अस्त्र शस्त्र निष्फल हो गए। जल के स्वामी वरुण का पाश टूट गया। श्रीहरि का सुदर्शन चक्र भी वहां सफल नहीं हुआ। श्री विष्णु ने उसके कंठ पर चक्र चलाया, किंतु वह वहां कुंठित हो गया। ब्रह्मा जी ने महायोगीश्वर भगवान शंभु के वीर से उत्पन्न हुए बालक के हाथ से इस दुरात्मा दैत्य की मृत्यु बताई है। यह कार्य तुम्हें अच्छी तरह और प्रयत्न पूर्वक करना है। मित्रवर, उसके हो जाने से हम देवताओं को बड़ा सुख मिलेगा। भगवान शंभु गिरिराज हिमालय पर उत्तम तपस्या में लगे हैं। वे हमारे भी प्रभु हैं, कामना के वश में नहीं हैं, स्वतंत्र परमेश्वर हैं। मैंने सुना है कि गिरिराज नंदिनी पार्वती पिता की आज्ञा पाकर अपनी 2 सखियों के साथ उनके समीप रहकर उनकी सेवा में रहती है। उनका यह प्रयत्न महादेव जी को पति रूप में प्राप्त करने के लिए ही है, परंतु भगवान शिव अपने मन को संयम नियम से वश में रखते हैं। मार, जिस तरह भी उनकी पार्वती में अत्यंत रुचि हो जाए, तुम्हें वैसा ही प्रयत्न करना चाहिए। यही कार्य करके तुम कृतार्थ हो जाओगे और हमारा सारा दुख नष्ट हो जाएगा। इतना ही नहीं, लोक में तुम्हारा स्थायी प्रताप फैल जाएगा। ब्रह्मा जी कहते हैं, नारद, इंद्र के ऐसा कहने पर कामदेव का मुखारविंद प्रसन्नता से खिल उठा। उसने देवराज से प्रेम पूर्वक कहा, मैं इस कार्य को करूंगा, इसमें संशय नहीं है। ऐसा कहकर शिव की माया से मोहित हुए काम ने उस कार्य के लिए स्वीकृति दे दी और शीघ्र ही उसका भार ले लिया। वह अपनी पत्नी रति और वसंत को साथ ले बड़ी प्रसन्नता के साथ उस स्थान पर गया जहाँ साक्षात योगीश्वर शिव उत्तम तपस्या कर रहे थे। धन्यवाद। इस अध्याय की समाप्ति। शुक्राना गुरुजी फॉर द सेवा। कोई भूल चूक हो तो प्लीज़ माफ़ करना। थैंक यू।